process of, you know, the lighting adjustment and all that stuff. There we go. See, it's still really dark. Not that one. There we go. See, we're live early because we wanted to do the lighting stuff before anybody came in for coffee. Can you see?
It's a little dark.
It's a little dark. I don't know how to fix that. The sun isn't kind to us today. Hang on. There, you just got that spit from Mama's mouth on your face.
Yeah, that'll be right.
Oh, goodness. Well, this is 2 minutes before we go live, but I'm still going to make that announcement. So not everybody needs to hear it. If you're joining us for the first time, I apologize in advance. My name is Amber.
I'm Tim.
And we're 2 of the 5 family members, Bradshaw family members that moved from South Carolina off grid here in East Tennessee. And this is our coffee conversation. There's not a lot to it. We're just a bunch of friends getting together, having some coffee, chit-chatting about life. I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. Last time, we missed last Sunday, y'all, and I am so sorry. We had life happen, and we couldn't go. We had life happen. Do you want to scooch up just a little bit so you don't look like you're in the dark? Looks like nobody puts baby in a corner.
I'm always in the shadows.
Oh, you're so mysterious. I'll fix it. Look at that. There we go.
You mind if I close my eyes?
There we go. Anyhow, good morning and thanks. What is this? New managing moderator. Support your channel in even more ways. Okay, I don't need all that. So we missed last Sunday, and I apologize for that. But somebody had a fall and break their back, so we weren't able to be here.
Well, I didn't break it.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Good morning. Is it 8 yet? Can I say? Sorry, yes, it's 8. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start. I like being punctual, and I don't like being late. And I want to be. There we go. I want to be consistent for those of us that actually want to have coffee, or those that want to have coffee with us. So, anyways, welcome and thank you for joining. And good morning to those that are here. First, let's backtrack 2 weeks. So we live in the middle of nowhere on almost 47 acres. And it takes a really long time to get to the hospital or to the doctors or for them to get to us, and they need 4-wheel drive. We've been there, done that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Timmy.
It's me.
It's always Timmy. Timmy is constantly trying to meet his maker. He's trying to go see Jesus. Always. You know, there's less painful ways to go, right?
I think there is. Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, almost, not quite, he let the dog out, and it was pouring down rain. The little dog. We've got 2 itty bitties in the house. They look like slippers that bark and pee and poop. And the one, she's our newest. She was born in April. We got her in June, or the first part of July. Anyhow, she didn't want to be in the cage. She wanted to go outside. She's in heat. And that's always fun, especially when her boyfriend, that she wants to be her boyfriend, is like 10 times bigger than her. So Timmy lets her out in his safety shoes. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell him what happened?
Well, I
wasn't there.
I was trying to get the puppy to come back in. I was calling her. So I ended up going outside.
In his Crocs?
In my Crocs.
In his safety shoes.
I slipped on the deck. It had been raining, and both of my feet flew out from under me.
He went,
and I landed on my butt. Hard.
I'm not going to show you his butt, but he ain't got no meat back there. There's no cushion. He ain't like Mama. Me. He's bony butt. I call him a back with a crack.
Okay.
And then how did I find you?
Rolling around in the mud.
Face down in the mud, yelling that
I couldn't get up.
That his back was broke. And it was, I'm out there in my underbritches, pouring down rain barefoot in the mud, trying to get him up. He couldn't get up. It was, looking back, I wish there would have been a camera crew, because it was probably, we would be laughing our butts off right now. No pun intended.
What's left of it.
But here we go again. It was tough. And so I had to put him on my back and carry him in the house. He's covered in mud and he's agonizing in pain. And we had all he cared about, though, seriously, he couldn't move, but all he cared about is that he had chicken poop all over him. And because we have some teen chickens, and let's backtrack just a moment. We have a homestead, we have a mini farm, and we raise a lot of livestock. Well, some of our livestock, Black Mama, she's our broody chicken. She loves hatching out chicks. And she normally hatches them, brings them up here so we can care for them, so no one will kill them. She knows that about us. She brings them up all the time, and we corral them right here by the front door, so we're right there. And then they get old enough, and she leaves and goes back with her daddy, her sugar daddy. And then they are supposed to follow her. Well, these teens never followed her to the coop and where all the other chickens live. So they roost on our handrail by the front door, and they literally poop at our front door, and we've got to clean it and scrub it every day. And we hate it, but we haven't been able to fix that situation yet. So, okay, now let's go back to how you were miserable that, wait. Home to Homestead. Hi, Timmy and Amber. So happy to catch you live. Hey, good morning, honey. We're just talking about how Timmy broke his back and was rolling around in chicken poop. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't break my back.
Can we finish the story? So I carry him on my back in the house, and we strip him down naked because all he cared about was that he was covered in chicken poop. But he wasn't, really. He just, in his mind, he was covered in chicken poop. And,
well, outside that door
lots of chicken poop
is where we let the dogs out. The chickens are out there.
Timmy always straight to the punchline.
And all I thought about just rolling around in that mud is I'm covered with dog poop, chicken poop, and she's going to drag me back in the house, set me down in my chair.
And I covered him with his blanket because he was naked.
And I'm like,
and it was
can
cold.
You at least clean me off first? Anyway. Fast forward and past that.
So the next day I had two options. So we put ice on his back. He didn't want to go to the emergency room that night. I'm like, we can go to the emergency room where they're not bone or spine specialists. They would send us to a specialist, or we can call the orthopedic surgeon that we've been seeing that's going to do my knee replacement. And he's seen them for his shoulder. He got some cortisone shots in the shoulder. So they hurried up and got us in there, and they did the x-rays and everything. And the injury was so new and everything was going on. We didn't have a real diagnosis. They're just take it easy. And they wanted to do follow-up x-rays in a week. So we went back the week later, and he did take it really easy. And we went back the week later, and the new x-rays showed that he had a compression fracture in his L5. So he used to wear this back brace for 12 weeks and not lift anything over 5 pounds. There.
Well, that ain't going to happen.
No, everybody's been really stepping it up, though. You don't think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They have. You're
going to come go to meet Jesus.
My chores and everything, and, I think the water and the food.
Hi, I love you guys. Have to get ready for church. Hi, Dad. Love you too. Hey, Joey. We got to get ready for church too, but we don't leave till 10, so we got a little bit of time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the water and the feed and the firewood.
The firewood. Probably your main chores.
The biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna skip to the part that why I'm mad at Timmy for getting injured. Um, First of all, let me tell you something. For all you croc loving wearing people out there, I like Crocs too. They're really good on my feet. I love them. They are not farm shoes. They're not safety shoes. You don't wear them when it's wet out. They're rubber. It's like slicker than snot. Don't wear them. Go barefoot. Your barefoot has more gription than the bottom of a piece of rubber.
Well, I mean, there's one good thing about them, and poop doesn't stick to them.
Poop.
So
Him and his poop.
yeah.
Poop doesn't stick to him. That's why he wears them. So since
If you
then,
step in poop, it will just flatten it out. It'll stay right there, and you can just keep on walking.
since this whole incident, y'all, he was in the back of the truck getting something out. He had his safety shoes on again. Slipped again, almost fell out the back of the truck. I said, if you don't kill yourself, I was so mad at him. I'm like, if you kill
Yeah.
yourself wearing those
I can't.
stupid, I cussed,
Can't.
those bleeping Crocs. And I said, I'm going to off myself to come find you to beat the crap out of you. I was so mad at those things. So, yeah,
Yeah, we're
that's
done.
okay, but that's not why I'm mad. I was mad. I'm not anymore because it's my fault. See, I said it. It's my fault.
It's your fault.
Well, it's mine and your fault. When Timmy got injured, and if you weren't with us a year and a half ago, June, Timmy got overheated and had like heat poisoning or sunstroke or something, and he passed out, and he was unresponsive, and we had to get the emergency crew here to take him to the hospital, and they never could find out what happened. And he was down for quite a good bit. This time, different emergency, same kind of thing. He's down. And so when you lose somebody that is so essential and vital to your functioning homestead, it really sucker punches you. It lets you know where all of your weak links are. It lets you know where you're lacking, how dependent you are on somebody, and life can happen any moment. We we need to be prepared a little bit better. Timmy has this entire homestead and farm life amber proofed, and only it's tinker timmied. It's everything is only a specific way. You got to turn it. You got to stand on one foot, turn it counterclockwise, and jiggle the screw a certain way to get it to work. I mean, I couldn't. We could not function at all without him because of the way everything's rigged up, just so Timmy can do it. And so I had to get on you a little bit because he wanted to try to get up and go out there with the firewood and go. And I'm like, you can't walk, and I'm not carrying you all the way to the firewood. So you're going to have to tell me what color logs are. It was it was that bad. It's like I can't get this wood, but I could get that wood, but only if I got from the bottom of the stack, and I couldn't do it. And then it was raining, and we didn't our solar. If anybody knows anything about solar panels, you need the sun. And so if you don't have the sun for energy, you don't have electricity. So you need a generator. Well, I've never started our generator. So, oh wait, there's more. You got to push the button and pull it out. Seriously, pat your head while you're circling your belly and chew bubble gum at the same time.
But you did it.
So I was mad at myself because I'm so dependent on Timmy, and I don't like being dependent on anything. Having a partner in life is amazing, but being so codependent on them you can't do for yourself is not okay. I mean, you should at least know how to do it. It's okay you don't have to do it all the time, but you should at least know how to do it.
Yes, that's very true. Um,
Just like you needed to learn how to operate the computer so you can get in all of our accounts if
oh
something happens to me.
yeah, I'll figure it out.
No, it's the same thing, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I was mad. I was mad that we couldn't function without him. And here he is injured, and I don't know how to do all the stuff that he does. And so I'm like, I'll be darned. I'm going to learn how to do all the stuff he does. And I told him, I told him very sternly, We're going to do this. It's not going to be your way. It's not going to be how you would do it. You're not going to like it when you can get better and start walking and see what we did, but it's going to get done. And you're going to have to be okay with that.
Well, I think sometimes when you get wrapped up in life and everybody has their own little thing that they do, when it comes down to uh, that one of those persons being down and you having to take over that job, what happens is you're in unfamiliar territory. So I think along and along, if you spend time together and share all of these chores and everything that's going on, when the time comes, you'll be able to do it with a little more confidence.
But then
Uh,
on that same token, honey,
it's
you don't like how other people do your thing.
No, not necessarily. It's just the way I do it, and it works for me. And I'm just giving my local knowledge when you're out there doing the all the tasks that I normally do.
You micromanage from the bed a lot.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, you know,
How would you do
how
it
I'm
his way?
doing something, but I mean, I know you're not going to do it just like me, and that's not the point. It's just getting it done and you know making sure.
You say that now, but it was driving him crazy that other people were doing his stuff.
But
But he's still a good guy.
we made it through, and
Now he still needs to wear his back brace for 10 more weeks. He isn't a very good patient when it comes to that. Speaking of, can you get me a touch of coffee?
sure,
You're closer.
yeah,
I will say this though, because you're out too. If you, I mean, there's people, our friends, we have several friends actually that are caretakers for someone who is completely not able to do what they do, and that's understandable. And that's an unfortunate situation, but that's the part of life that does happen too. And we need to be able to step it up and fill in those gaps. Sometimes, thank you, honey. The situation is so bad that you can't live this lifestyle anymore. Wait, you're not getting a cup of coffee?
I'm back.
I was talking about you.
We'll go ahead.
So it's really important that we play each other's roles sometimes, or at least help each other throughout all the daily tasks, especially when to homestead and off-grid life, because um, chances are it will happen again, and I will be in this position again to have to do it all. And I will say this: I was able, thankfully, the timing of it. Timmy got injured on Tuesday evening. Gavin is off work Wednesdays and Thursdays. So we were very blessed to have him here to help me out to get everything
Mm.
going. Um, because at that point in time, I was just still in shock mode, just trying to take care of Timmy, run him to emergency, tend to him. And Lyndon, let's not forget, we still have a child at home. So I was very thankful. Gavin has helped, and Ashton helped him too. So that goes back to hopefully there's not a lot of people doing this kind of life on their own, that they have that community, you know, their inner community to help. Because that's why I think a lot of farms have closed over the years. Their younger generation didn't want to take it over, and the parents got too old to do this kind of life.
Yeah, and I think it's brought us to the point where we need to figure some things out, and so if something does happen, we aren't at that. Oh
Urgent.
my goodness, what are we gonna do?
We're not. We're literally everything around here when Timmy goes down does not. I mean, we would freeze because we didn't have the firewood that we needed. We didn't have water. Um, there's, I mean, that's pretty big, you know, and so we have to have we have to have a plan in place. That kind of goes back to our prepping conversation that we had 2 weeks ago. You have to have a plan in place for situations like this. Nobody plans on getting sick or falling on their butt and breaking their back, or a compression fracture in their L5 if you want to get technical. Nobody plans on getting overheated and passing out and not being able to function for a week. Nobody plans on. Well, I'm not even going to go over all the injuries that he's had since he's. How long do we have coffee for in the morning? Yeah,
Mm.
but you have to have you need to have a plan in place for the what ifs, the life things. And again, if you're physically able, do each other's chores, help each other do each other's chores. I know he can cook, so he won't starve to death. He won't cook like I do, but he can cook if something happened to me. And he can't go on the computer though, so we got to work on that.
I can turn it on.
He just yeah, we have a joke about that too. Back in the day when Timmy turned on the computer and thought he broke it because there was a screen and then the separate tower, and he didn't turn them both on, and it said lost signal or can't connect. He was all distraught, thinking that he broke my computer.
Yeah.
He never touched it again. Mm. So I wanted to talk about community last time. And this is really important because I don't know what I would have done had Gavin not been here to help. I mean, I would have figured it out, but him having him here removed that burden, that instant burden that I had. And I kind of panicked too when I knew he was going back to work Friday. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be so hard. It's going to be hard on me because if you don't know, I don't get around very good right now. I'm waiting on a knee replacement to do that. And I have back issues, and so I can't walk very far. And I haven't because he's done it all. So the most I've walked is from like here to the car, and that's it. And then instantly I had to take care of the entire homestead, and that was very daunting. And I didn't feel. I prayed. I'm like, Lord, you know what I need to do. Give me the strength. Give me the energy. Help me through this. And we did it. Here we are. But I was happy to have that community, and that's when my mom moved in here too. My mom is capable. I call her semi-disabled. She's capable. She's older. She has arthritis. She has walking issues. She has physical strength issues. She is a cancer survivor a couple times, breast cancer and skin cancer, and she has a lot of health issues that make this life harder. You know, very hard. And she has us, her community, to help her through these things or help her function. And I think it's really important. We're now a multi generational homestead. And as Ashton and Gavin grow in their marriage and they have children, we'll be a 4 generation homestead. And I think, we need to get back to that. We need to get back to that community type. For whatever reason, we've been brainwashed in thinking that we need to grow up, leave the house, and be completely on our own. Is that how you were raised?
Well, my parents, they never really wanted me to leave. They said,
You're
you
so
can leave
handy.
when you want to, but I mean, that's, it's totally up to you. But, when I started working, I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore.
But you weren't raised in the fact that you were going to grow up, get married, and have your family and live there with them.
No.
So that's what I'm talking about. Let me share something with you guys. A friend of ours shared this on Facebook. Um, Hang on, it's a little long, but it exactly brings my point. Well, I'm talking about that multi generational homesteader, that community living. It says in the Amish and Mennonite communities, when a young man and woman marry, the father oversee, organize, and financially defray the cost of the new home. Since both were young, the families have set aside money for the building and other startup costs of launching a new household. This money comes from the fact that from a young age, both the son and the daughter have been working in various family and community businesses, and the fathers held back a part of their wages and sought to invest them wisely for this day in particular. The families and community help bear the cost of the family having a good start household, and otherwise, as a house building and generally is done by a large number of folks all contributing. But it is quite clear the new married couple and their household bear a cost, but rather a small one. The family, community, and church all contribute, putting their money where their mouth is. In ancient Israelite and surrounding cultures, when a young man said to a girl, I'll go prepare a place for you, His family and community helped them prepare that place. Most houses were built on an existing house in the family complex. The new household was often built on the foundations and borrowing from the strength of the roof and walls of those that it belonged to who had come before. Family and community all pitched in, helping to build that new house. It didn't stand alone, it wasn't built alone, and the son didn't have to figure it all out alone. In both of these societies and cultures, the young man, by the time he went to build his own house, would have helped build many, sometimes a dozen or more homes for others. He would have a deep well of experience and probably spent many years in conversations and thought about the nature of the household, marriage, and more, all with older men from wisdom and experience on the matter. His own house, both physically and otherwise, would borrow from and be built on the strength and resources of the community he was part of. Why we expect young couples, especially men, to bear a burden that no successful societies require them to do alone before us is baffling. A new household should naturally come out of the resources and strengths of the household that called it into being: family, society, and church. God didn't make Adam and Eve and then place them in a wasteland and expect them to be fruitful and multiply. He placed them in a well supplied, abundant garden. He came and walked with them, mentored them, guided them. We should, as families, and given the state of the West as church communities, be doing likewise. The last thing we should be doing is looking at men and telling them they alone are responsible for filling such a great task and burden. As we see, it is a recipe for discouragement and disaster. There you go.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
know. That was so profound, and I'm sitting here going, wow. Because from a young age, all I was taught was I go to school, graduate, go to college if I wanted to, get married, have a family, and do it all on my own. And I wasn't alone in that. That's everybody's taught that way. Unless you live in like those Amish and Mennonite communities, that's how we're raised. You're not a man, you're not a woman unless you do it all on your own.
Hmm.
And that is, you think about Satan and how he comes to divide, to conquer. Together we are strong. The Bible tells us about being that we need community, family, and how strong we are together. And Satan comes to divide and conquer. What better way to do that than in the family? And I've even heard my own children say, especially our daughter Morgan, who did leave, that's living on her own, is that she had to do this on her own. We've offered to build her a house here. We've offered her to live here to help her. I'm like, you don't have to struggle like you're struggling. She goes, Mom, I got to do it on my own. No, she doesn't. And she feels that relying on us and letting us help her is a sign of weakness, when it actually it's a sign of strength. Just like I just read, those houses weren't built to stand alone. They used the strength of the walls of their families before them and shared the roof line. You can use that as a metaphor, but your family should be the foundation and the strength of these young families starting out. And we never looked at it that way.
No, no. Like I said, I was clueless to all of that when I was growing up.
Well, we all are, because we've been brainwashed to have our families divided,
Yeah.
and that we have to go, oh, we got to go get a 30-year mortgage, and we got to go get our own land and our own this and our own that. And it's this crazy talk, because there's no way, we know that we can't do this life by ourselves. We need the strength of our family and our community. And that family doesn't always have to be blood. It could be just your family that you consider family. It
Yeah.
could be your brothers and sisters in Christ. It doesn't have to be blood. It would be nice if it would be blood, but it doesn't have to be. And there's strength in numbers, and we need as a society to get back to that mentality, that we're all in this together, that we all help these young men and women build their home together and prepare them for the future, instead of just setting them on their own and so excited that they're finally out of the house.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a little relief that comes with that. I can't wait to get these kids out of the house. But
I have never once said that. Not once. I cried when they.
well, I'm sure there's a lot out there that feel like that.
But that's the wrong thinking. That's that whole time. It's like they should be. I know you were just saying, but
it's more of a when they get out on their own and
we're always proud of their achievements when we see them adult. But that doesn't mean that we want to just kick them out and have them be on their own. And I'm guilty. Like when we were working and you were working so hard on Gavin and Ashlyn, I'm like, when they get in, we're done. They can do the rest themselves. I'm tired of working on it. I'm tired of having you work on it. Our own house ain't even finished and we're doing theirs. That was horrible talk, y'all. And that was a horrible mindset. Of course, we don't need to do it all. That would be bad parenting as well. But we need to let them know that they're not on their own and work with them to continue building their house. I'll do it for them. Ashlyn, if you're watching, I'm not saying do it for you, honey. I'm saying do it with you to guide you.
Agreed.
Really? That's it? So, I would love y'all's thoughts on what I read because to me, I want to dive into this deeper. I want to dive into the Bible deeper and see all the different examples that we've abandoned of how we're supposed to live. And, you kind of think about your ancestors and when it started to fall apart. I don't know when Satan started whispering in everybody's ear, hey, you need to go by yourself. You need to do this alone. You need to have your own thing. Or even when parents, it's like, I can't wait till they're 18 so I can kick them out. They're on their own. I'm going to pay for college. I'm going to be done. They can get their own land, their own lease, their own mortgage, their own whatever. When did that start, and how can we change it back? That's the key. How do we get it back?
I don't know.
Answer me, you wise one. But yeah, so that's it. Y'all weren't very chatty today. I guess I was talking too much, as always.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much with it. I don't want to offend anybody or.
You seriously care about offending people?
No, I don't know.
Mr. I chew my words. He does. Timmy's very good. I'm verbal vomit, and he chews and chews and chews and chews until he forgets what he's chewing. But anyways, we got farm chores to do. I can hear those chickens out there just cackling. Y'all hear them? So this week, the last 2 weeks takeaway is make sure that you or everybody in your household can perform all of the chores. So when somebody slips and falls on their bum, that you're not left helpless. And that's all a part of prepping and being self-sufficient that goes with it. So yeah, I was mad at him, but I was actually mad at myself for not knowing. And so I still got some things to figure out that Timmy amber-proofed that I need to work. But then between that and needing the homestead and our community came together to help support us during this time of need, and that's what we need to build on is that community. And how do we get it back? But anyhow, all right, we got to get going. We got chores to do. Y'all have a blessed Sunday.
Thanks for watching.
That's not your little thing that you do.
Thanks for putting up with us.
There we go. Bye, y'all.